Everybody has a bathroom.
Emory.
We'll put your hand.
Excuse me, Abby. Yes, sir.
When you go up here and like put a touch sign in, can you do that without a password? Somebody tell me to sign in.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all.
You have all the buckets?
Yeah, I got two.
2 buckets.
Hey guys, you guys can come in and sit on the carpet. Okay, story time is in here. Say thank you. Thank you. Okay, for story time, you guys are going to help me tell the story. So around the room, we have 12 eggs hidden. So can everyone find an egg? Find an egg for me and then just hold on to it.
Find an egg.
Grace.
Grace.
Everybody have one?
Got one, Kim?
Grace.
Okay,
just hold on to it. Okay, everyone has one. Okay. There's still a few around.
Okay, listen to what
So
she's
you
saying.
can give a second one if you see another one. Because we don't have 12 friends. Caroline. I know there's one on the carpet, guys. Good job. All right, then once you have your egg or two, have a seat on the carpet. Okay, who has the egg with the number 1 on it? Who? Do you have number 1?
You have 10.
Yes. Blue egg. All right, open it up for me. What's inside number 1? What is that? Do you know? A what? A donkey. I'll take all that. So we'll get to do the actual egg hunt part later. Okay, so we're telling the story of Jesus last week. And so on Palm Sunday, he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. Most people walked back in Jesus' time, but kings would ride on donkeys. And so that is how he entered Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. Okay, who has number 2? You do. Yeah, looking right. Who has number 2?
Number 6.
2's back there. I hear it.
Jump up and give it to her.
What's inside number 2?
Open number 2. Open it.
What's in there? Money. We have money in number 2. Jesus had 12 friends who were always with him, called the disciples. And one of Jesus' friends, Judas, didn't like the way he was running things. And so he went to some men in Jerusalem who also didn't like Jesus and said, hey, you want to arrest Jesus, and I know where he'll be. And so if you give me some money, I'll tell you where he's going to be. And so they gave Judas 30 pieces of silver to betray Jesus, say where he was going to be so he could be arrested. Who has number 3? Number 3. Are we missing? Okay, number 3. Jesus' last meal he ate, the Last Supper, he took a cup that was full of wine and said that the wine was going to be like his blood that he was pouring out for our sins. And so he was telling everybody, all his disciples, that he was going to need to die. All right, number 4. Who has number 4? All right, what's inside number 4? Hands. All right, I'll take the egg too, please. Thank you. So we have praying hands. After the Last Supper, Jesus went out into the garden and he prayed because he knew he was going to have to die. And he was very scared about it because it wasn't going to be fun. And so he asked God to give him strength so he could go through with the whole crucifixion. Okay, who has number 5? Yep. Oh, she has 5. What's inside? Do you know what that is? A what? Yeah, kind of like rope. It's a whip. So once Jesus was arrested, the soldiers took a whip, kind of like a rope or sticks, and they beat him. They hurt him really badly. Okay, who has number 6? Yep, what's inside? What is that? A chicken. It's a rooster. Another one of Jesus' friends, Peter, said that he would never ever say he didn't know Jesus. He was such a good friend. And Jesus told him, you're going to get so scared of what's happening that you're going to say you don't know who I am. Not only that you're not my friend, but you don't know who I even am. And so before the rooster crowed 3 times the next morning, Peter said he did not know who Jesus was. Okay, who has number 7?
Joel. Here. Look. 7.
What's inside number 7?
Open it.
What's in it? What is that? That's a tricky one. Do you know what that is?
A crown of
Yeah.
thorns.
Yeah. Here, I'll take all that. So number 7 is our crown of thorns. The soldiers were making fun of Jesus. And so since he was called the king, they took some thorns and made it into a crown and put that on his head. Okay, who has number 8? Do you have number 8? What's inside there?
A claw.
A cross. Yes, the soldiers hung Jesus on a cross. It was made out of wood, and to make him hang on the cross, they took nails and put nails through his hands and his feet so he could hang on the wooden cross. And that was how Jesus died for our sins, hanging on the cross. Who has number 9? You have 9 too. What's inside there? Do you know what that's called? It's a spear. So, whoop. Thank you. So Jesus was hanging on the cross and he died. And to make sure that he was really dead, the soldiers took a spear and they stuck him in his side to make sure that he had really died. Okay, who has number 10?
10, get up.
10. Yep, blue. All right, what's inside?
Open it there.
Do you know what that is? It's a piece of... It's a piece of cloth. All right, I'll take your egg too. Thank you. So once Jesus died, they took his body off the cross and they wrapped him in linen cloth. That's how they buried people back then. They would wrap them in this cloth and they put the body inside a tomb, which was kind of like a cave in a rock. And so they wrapped them all up in the cloth. All right, who has number 11?
Me.
What's inside 11?
Chocolate.
Chocolate? I don't think you want to eat that one.
What is that? Chocolate.
It's a rock. I'll take your egg too, please. Thank you. So the tombs back then, like I said, were caves, and so they would roll a stone over in front of the cave so that way no one could disturb the body. So the rock is our symbol of the big stone that was in front of the cave, Jesus' tomb. All right, who has number 12? What's inside 12?
Nothing.
Nothing, because that's what they found on Easter morning. The ladies went to check on Jesus' body, and the stone had been rolled away, and there was nothing in the tomb. Jesus had raised from the dead and wasn't in the tomb. I'll take the egg. Say thank you for helping me to tell our Easter story. Say everybody gets a paper of our story.
Give me that spoon.
We're going to talk. Excuse me.
Somebody.
it?
You know what? Just kind of hang out over there with it
Do you want to wait
because
till the Easter egg hunt?
yeah, we're gonna live stream until the Easter egg hunt. If you want to interview me, go ahead, ask me questions.
Yeah, I'll interview the boss.
Hello.
And who are you?
I'm Taylor, the children's director here at Emory.
What's going on today at Emory?
We are having an Easter celebration with an egg hunt coming up. And we had a great turnout, and we're having a lot of fun.
What are the stations that were here today?
We had crafts, we had snacks, we had story time, and games, and then an egg hunt.
Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
Now we're getting ready for the egg hunt. All right. Pick that corner up and pull it.
Okay. Chloe, Valerie, can I ask you what was going on at the craft table today?
We make crosses,
All right.
like different tissue paper crosses. And it was fun and hectic, but fun. Very messy.
How many crosses did you guys think you made today?
I'd say about, I don't want to say 50, but over 30.
That's a lot. All right, thank you. Bye. Okay, can I ask you? I need to interview you, okay?
No. I'm
Yes.
not in charge of snacks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, what station were you running today?
I was in charge of snacks, and it was basically help yourself.
Oh.
We had Capri Sun and water and fresh fruit and little snack bags of veggie sticks. And for the adults, we had coffee and tea. And then the kids just sat down and relaxed and ate.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna slip out.
Well, stay back there. We got a couple announcements.
All right.
Wendy, would you go turn the TV off? Well, good morning. Fantastic. Okay, I gotta ask, have you had fun so far? You don't sound like it. I'll ask again. Maybe you couldn't hear me, so I'm gonna ask it one more time. Did you have fun so far? Yeah! Fantastic. Well, I'm Pastor Brian, and I'm the pastor here at Emory, and it is an honor and a pleasure to see all of you here this morning. And I'm so glad you have had a great time. I want to introduce you to our children's director. This is Taylor.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out and making this a huge success. We had a lot of fun. And I hope to see you all again for our other awesome activities that we have coming up.
So here's how we're going to progress from this point to the end. We are going to have the younger kids go into the yard first. Okay, the 1 through 3-year-olds will get to go out into the yard first and start. We'll give them a head start, probably 5 minutes-ish, 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll open it up for all the other children. So you're going to want to have your cameras ready. If the parents want to slip into the yard ahead of them, that's up to you. We will let you do that. When we're done with the egg hunt, you'll notice behind us we have 2 sets of crosses going on here at Emory for families and for friends. I just want to let you know we worship every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow's no different. It is Easter Sunday. You are invited to come and celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ with us. It will be a fun, enjoyable morning. We have Sunday school, so if you show up at 9 because you got confused, that's great. We have something for you and your children. It's okay. And we have something for all ages, from the youngest all the way up to our oldest, who's 90. So please consider that. You'll have some information in your cups about that. But we will be here in the morning. If you noticed, we have a parking lot the size of this town, which is fantastic because we don't have to plow it. But that's where we get to park. We don't have our own parking lot, so we park all over town. So you're welcome to come find a space and walk in. Hopefully the doors will be hopefully it'll be warm enough that our doors are wide open. If it's cold, we gotta be careful. We can catch colds. So, are we ready to head out?
You guys ready?
We're gonna head out through the front doors. We're gonna go around to the left. That way and follow. And we'll line up at the gate.
Oops, sorry. Chloe, can I go in?
You're not Chloe. Read the name
Katie,
tag.
I get you two confused. By pastor's orders.
Oh, okay then.
Say hello.
Hi. As long as you have to pass. It's Kid Paradise. Welcome to Kid Paradise.
Mind away some eggs? No. Yes, I am. Wait, can I get up here?
You're murdering.
Okay.
Let all of our younger ones up front. And then we'll go ahead and open the gate. Be careful when you go in. Don't say what Okay, let's put some eggs in. Grab them, buddy.
Exactly, you gotta pick eggs up. He's gone through the caterpillar.
Gwen,
Oh, is he?
pick up eggs.
Are there eggs in here? Probably not. He's just like all the way
I think the overrun's on deck.
Oh, don't worry about that. Brian,
Gwen, pick up eggs, baby.
So whenever we're here, oh yeah. Well, now he's like, finally, get
You want to talk about what's going on?
We got everyone going for eggs.
How many eggs are there?
Like 300, 500?
500?
Over 500.
Over 500 eggs.
500. There's a lot of eggs and a lot of kids.
Yes.
I think so.
I hit about half of them.
Do you think there's any left over?
Maybe like one, if I'm lucky. Like somewhere hiding like under something.
Maybe. Maybe Jack threw some up on the roof.
Jack never threw any up on the roof because I wouldn't let him.
They want the eggs back. Are they taking the eggs back? Do you know?
Taylor, do you want the eggs back?
You guys ready?
No, you can keep the eggs.
Yay!
Alright, you guys can keep the eggs actually, if you want to.
Yes, it was already Bye. See you for these 5 years, right? 5 years. Bye.
And then we have a little goodie bag for you then too, okay? Yeah, there's a goodie bag. Go ahead and stick your finger in.
That's your goodie bag.
Good job, Maddox. All right. Yeah, come on over here, Oliver. Go ahead, poke one. Yep, pull the whole thing out. There's a piece of paper. Take all this too.
Guys inside.
Go ahead, Emmett.
All right,
Push.
Oh no.
Take everything out. Take everything out. There you go. There you go.
You
Take all of
got a
that.
special basket.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Happy
All right, go ahead, Elliot. Punch your hand through it.
Come on, put your hand.
Boom.
Oh, good job. Hit it hard.
Grab that. Grab that.
Pull
All of
it all out.
There you go.
Thank you.
And put it right in here. Yeah, more candy.
Oh, more, yeah,
No, put the paper in too.
Yeah, you have to keep all of it.
You get it all, dude.
It has a special note in there.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
You're
Here
welcome.
we go, bud. Do you want me to exit it?
Yeah, kind of pan up and then exit.
Here, I'll take your phone.